Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about card crafting and why aiming for as many blue stars as possible is not that expensive and is actually a lot more in your reach than you might think, even if you're not a whale. Before we get into this though, I do have to give you guys just a few additional comments here, because I know this conversation about crafting cards and stuff has the potential to erupt into a big disagreement. So one, people are going to ask me, and they've already asked me, when am I going to craft my cards? I've crafted a card off stream, off my set on stream, just to show players what it looks like to craft a card, so they have the knowledge going into it themselves. They don't make the mistakes, or they don't make any costly errors. I haven't equipped this card. I will start crafting my cards at the end of February, so in about a month and a half. And I'm doing that so that it gives the rest of the player base enough time to catch up and start crafting their own cards. Now, I've already talked about why crafting your cards is really important, and it really is. It's not a system you should ignore, because just like premium cards, you can do it free to play, and it'll really help your account. Even just getting a few blue stars and getting some pierce is going to skyrocket your damage output for PvE content. Now, again, some people are always going to have a problem with this. Some people are going to think that this ruins the game or this destroys the game, but fact of the matter is, we're all playing this game to have fun. We're all playing this game to progress, and this is a way to progress and have more fun, because if you can do more damage, then you can have more fun with the characters that you actually want to play with, and you won't have to be such a slave to the meta, always going for the next new character. So you can see an investment in your cards as future-proofing for the next few characters that come out, because if they start dropping all these really expensive native tier 2s or premium characters like Namor again, you won't feel the pressure to get those characters, because your older characters will be super powered and have way harder hitting skills because of Pierce on cards. Now, Pierce is not the only stat that you can get on cards. You can get green stars, which is resistance, or you can get red stars, which is concentration. But blue or Pierce is by far the best of the three. It basically makes you deal true damage for a percentage of your damage. So if you have 3 blue stars on one card, that's 2% Pierce. If you have all 6 blue stars on one card, then it would be 5% Pierce. So you can get a maximum of 25% Pierce. But even getting as little as 2% Pierce can have a dramatic effect on your cards. And I've gotten messages and I've seen proof from multiple players at all ends of the spectrum, from whales to dolphins. Just, you know, low spenders, medium spenders got lucky with one of their rerolls on a premium card that they crafted. They got 3 blue stars, 2% Pierce, and now they went from doing stage 80 with their Scarlet Witch with no CTP to doing stage 99. So it can have a tremendous impact, and like I said, it doesn't actually cost that many crystals, and it doesn't actually cost that many premium cards. And I have this information to share with you thanks to 2 awesome Reddit users. I didn't collaborate with these people. They did this all on their own, and they basically showed us what is really going on as far as RNG goes when you're trying to get those blue stars. Now, again, some people are always going to say that this is a bad idea, that this is, you know, going to ruin the game or whatever. I have my disagreements with that. Some people are also going to say that it's going to ruin my showcases, but same thing as what happened when we got premium cards, when we got CTPs of energy, CTPs of rage. We can always, you know, overcome and adapt to the situation, and then also we can just scale it down, right? So, okay, he can clear stage 80 with an energy, or he can clear stage 50 with an energy. So we bring it down 10, or we bring it down 20 stages, and that's what the character can do with an obelisk. Same kind of thing. As we experiment and get more data on how much more damage you're doing with Pierce, we'll be able to more correctly and more accurately, you know, estimate, okay, well, I'm doing stage 20 null with 4% Pierce. You could probably do stage 5 or stage 10 null with 0% Pierce. And by the way, you don't need Pierce to do null. I'm already doing stage 9 once a day with Odin. With this team right here, I'm doing it, sometimes I fail, but I've done it 9 times already with 0% Pierce on my cards and 0 reforged CTPs. So it's not something that is impossible without this new system. But anyways, enough blabbing from me. Let's take a look at the data. So big, huge shout out to JMackey1974 and also darkgamerzero. They both collaborated in a way and sort of demystified the situation. So I'm just gonna read what they said word for word, because it's actually very well put. Welcome to Marvel Future Fight Casino, or welcome to the Future Fight Casino, pretty funny. The following odds assume the following. Completely free to play, so again, not spending money. Just the initial roll when you craft all stars on a premium card, and then you're trying to get at least 3 blue stars. So that's the general advice that I give players, is you should craft a card all the way up to 6 stars, the way that I crafted that White Fox card. And that's what J Mackey is saying. Craft the card all the way to the end, regardless of what stars and what stats you get. And then if you want to try and go for more blue stars or different stats, then you should do a craft combine. And then that's when you choose, do I want to lock recovery rate and cold resist? That's going to cost me 100 crystals, and it's going to cost me a premium card, but I'm going to save those 2 blue stars. I don't need cold resist and recovery rate, but at least I get those blue stars. Again, it depends what you're going for. If you're going for stats or blue stars or both. Obviously, if you go for both, that's the most expensive. That could really cost you a lot of money. But in J Mackey's simulation, they're just going for as much Pierce as possible. And if you have good stats on your cards, then you may be fine with just getting Pierce. So he says here, they say here, if you get at least 3 blue stars, you get 2% Pierce. 6 blue stars means 5% Pierce. The number of blue stars you get does not calculate across all of your cards, so it just calculates individually for a card. So if you have 5 cards with 2 blue stars each, you get 0 Pierce. So focusing on one card and then moving on to the next one when it's done is, again, better value if you're just going for Pierce. So you can see the chance here of getting the number of blue stars that you want. Obviously, the more blue stars you want on a single card, the lower the percentage chance. So he says there's a 32% chance of getting 2% Pierce. That's not bad. So he automatically says, even without re-rolling, so even if you don't use another premium card, it turns out that 2% Pierce is pretty easy to obtain. I didn't pay J Mackey. He's not a Netmarble employee. 1 of every 3 players who use the system will have at least the minimum 2% amount of Pierce. At least. So he goes on to say, he says, for the record, I hate this system. It's a cancer in the game. So, I'm being totally transparent here with J Mackey's opinion. They personally don't like this system, but they truthfully identify the fact that it's actually not that hard to get some Pierce on your cards and get some blue stars, which is going to make content a lot easier for you, which is, again, gonna put less pressure on you to keep up with the meta, put less pressure on you to save crystals or buy crystals to gamble for CTPs. You may not even need CTPs for characters anymore. I have multiple examples of players, after getting some Pierce, being able to do stage 99 with an obelisk. So it actually ends up having the opposite effect, where it can actually save you money in the long run, and it can open up a lot of other options for you to play with characters that you otherwise couldn't play with, right? Imagine, just for the sake of argument, let's say Daredevil never gets a rework. I hope he does, but let's say for the sake of argument, Daredevil never gets a rework. If you get some Pierce on your cards, who knows? Who knows how strong you could make your Daredevil, right? Isn't the game about having fun and doing these things that we want to do? And if you don't have to spend any money and you can still achieve these goals, more power to you, right? So then Dark Gamer comes in and writes a script, a Python script, that's trying to calculate and simulate the number of premium cards and the number of rerolls and crystals you'll need to get 6 blue stars. Now, I don't want to read everything they said because there's a lot of numbers and there's a lot of math, and I don't want to goof up their math, and I don't want to make any jumbling of their work, because their work is fantastic. They publicize the script, which is awesome. They get into a conversation with J Mackey, and then J Mackey posts this second thread just an hour ago, where they basically collaborated with darkgamerzero. I keep thinking of Zero Dark 30. And they basically do the same thing with the script. So they have a card with 3 blue stars. It came out that way out of the box, and then they were curious about what it would cost if they decided to take it to 6 blue stars. So they wrote the simulation with the craft combine, and then here are the results. So the first line of this table is the case where you started out with no blue stars at all. So let's say you craft your card and you get all green stars, or like you get 2 green and 3 red stars, or whatever, 3 red, 3 green stars. From this terrible starting point, so literally the absolute worst crafted RNG, players could get to 6 blue stars by rolling an average of 6.5 premium cards, or re-rolling 6.5 times, and spending 1,800 crystals. 1,800 crystals is not super cheap, but it's not that expensive either for a single card. Now, of course, if you want to do that to all 5 cards, now you're looking at closer to 9,000 crystals. However, we already pay 6,600 crystals for a deluxe pack. So a deluxe pack gives you 1 character, and it gives you a farming mission for the rest of the time the game is live. But if you look at it from another point of view, if you just craft 3 cards and you get all blue stars with this average RNG, that's going to set up your account forever too. So it's actually got more of an impact for the same cost in crystals. Now you also need the premium cards. I'm not calculating the premium cards, but like I said, we get on average 11 premium cards per year for free. And that's not counting any other premium cards, any other premium card logins, any other future events. It's not counting any premium cards you could be getting from booty boxes, from World Boss, or any other content. And it's not counting any premium cards that you get from gambling yourself, if you decide to just do like a lucky gamble or whatever. I'm not saying you should do that or you have to do that. I'm just saying. So he does the math here. 5 blue stars, 3 premium cards, 1,500 crystals. I guess this is just one example. I'm not sure. The goal for this table is 3 blue stars giving 2% Pierce. So he says his assumptions could be their assumption could be wrong, or your program could have some bugs. You do feel pretty confident about the results because darkgamerzero independently wrote a simulator and our results matched. I debated whether or not I should post this because I hate the card crafting system and I don't want to be seen as encouraging Netmarble's awful system. I will disagree with them here. I don't think the system is awful because of Null. Because of Null, it seems like they want to make more difficult content in the future. We'll have to see what comes next, but if they're going to keep releasing World Boss Legends or keep releasing difficult content, then this system is seen as a way to grow into the new system, right? Just like you buy baby shoes that are a little bit too big, not because you want your kid to stumble around, but because you know your kid's going to grow into them. Not the best analogy, but you kind of get what I'm saying. But sharing this work with the community did override my distaste for the card crafting system. I have to applaud J Mackey here for being honest and also valuing the knowledge. I know I'm going to get some flack for this. I know there's always going to be some people who disagree with me and think the system is trash. But if I can help players, if I can make their experience more enjoyable in the game, and if I can allow you to play with the characters you want to play rather than being a slave to the meta, I'm down for that. I'm totally down for that. So J Mackey goes on to say, the costs are surprisingly cheap. And I hate that they're so cheap. I can see whales with lots of cards easily getting 25% Pierce in no time at all. Or they could choose to get 15% Pierce and 10% concentration. This is the eventual death of PvP modes. This is also where I do disagree with J Mackey a little bit. I've played a lot of PvP lately, a lot, and I've fought against a lot of players who have reforged CTPs and crafted cards. You can see I'm 130-0. I don't have crafted cards. I don't have reforged CTPs. It's not the end of PvP. You can absolutely compete without these systems. Now, of course, we're still in the early game of the system. We don't have players with perfect cards yet, but like I said, I'm at 0, right? I'm at the base level. I'm at the ground floor. If they craft better cards and I craft some cards, then that gap is going to remain the same. So I don't think that it's going to be a situation where players are not going to be able to compete at all, but I do think that we still need to keep an eye on this system in case it gets out of hand. But I'm really happy to see that it's even less expensive than I thought, right? I originally had a really bad reaction to it because it costed premium. It cost premium cards to craft, to craft each star. They removed the premium cards, and I didn't think that was enough of a change. But it turns out that it actually is much more obtainable than we originally thought. And it would have been great if the devs had just released this information, because of course it would be way easier for them because they have all of the data on their side, right? J Mackey has to sort of work through the math. They have all the math. So my suggestion to them, if they're ever going to introduce a new system like this in this game or any of their future games, they need to do this sort of work for the community, to ease the community into these situations and into these systems, and to really say, listen guys, it's not as bad as you think, right? Yeah, sure, we're trying to make more money in this game, but we're also trying to beef up your accounts and give you more room to grow and use whatever characters you want rather than having to use the brightest, shiniest, newest Sentry or Beta Ray Bill or whatever. And it's really not that bad. Now, cautionary PSA here. This is the average amount of RNG. Unfortunately, some players are going to get luckier and they're going to spend less than 6.5 premium cards and less than 1,800 crystals. Other players are going to spend more. That's just the way that it works with outliers and with averages. So take this as, take this for what it is. It's some optimism, but it doesn't mean that it's only going to cost that much. It might end up costing less and costing more. You guys kind of know how it works. But now you guys have a better idea, and I have a better idea personally of how much it's going to cost. I hope that this encourages more people to try the system, because I still see people that just flat out refuse to try the system and think that it's garbage. It's really not garbage. It will improve your gameplay, it will improve your characters, and you'll have more fun with the game, and you won't have to worry so much about your builds, right? I see people complaining about having to farm for Uru, for example. Well, if you craft your card and you get ignore defense on one of your rolls, or you get skill cooldown, right, just one of those two stats, that can completely eliminate the need to ever farm for ignore defense or skill cooldown Urus. If you get lucky and you get ignore defense and you get crit damage, that's two Urus that you never need to farm for again. So you can kind of see what I'm saying. It's got a twin effect. Now again, the better you want your cards, the more expensive it's going to be. So if you're just crafting for stats and you don't care about stars, that's going to have some cost. If you're just crafting for stars and not stats, and you just want blue stars, which are the best, then J Mackey beautifully broke it down for us. An average of 6.5 premium cards and 1,800 crystals, which is not bad at all. That's an investment that's worthwhile, in my opinion. I mean, for crying out loud, Thanos' uniform is 1,500 crystals. A single uniform for a single character is 1,500 crystals. And you're telling me I can spend a little bit more and I can get 5% pierce for all of my characters and all future characters that I get? What's more valuable, the Thanos uniform, or, you know, whatever, 25%, 50% of the cost of, you know, upgrading your account forever? Again, I'm not counting the P cards. It's difficult to value the P cards against the crystals, because on the one hand, a premium card does cost 7,000 crystals to gamble for because of the pity system. On the other hand, we get a free premium card every 40 days. So the value is kind of up in the air. But yeah, big shout out once again to J Mackey and darkgamerzero. Also, huge thank you to Tesla Nicola and Ariana and everybody else on Discord that was helping with the modified script. I really appreciate you guys helping me out. And yeah, hopefully, you know, you guys try the system out for free. I'm not telling you to spend money. And maybe, hopefully, I hope you guys pull as many, you know, roll as many blue stars as possible, and you get super good RNG. And then you're laughing, you're laughing, you're laughing. I don't know why I said that 3 times. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.